Hey everyone, thank you so much for being on our Tuesday night call with, I apologize, Team It Works Ambassador in Training. Tamara Jones is on the phone with us tonight. How are you?
I'm doing really well. You almost got it. It's Tamara.
Tamara. Oh, I apologize.
That's okay.
You're going to share your... We're excited to hear your story because I know that you have a pretty good one.
I do.
So we're going to go ahead and just get started. If you want to go ahead and start with your why and introduce yourself to everybody, and I will just go ahead and mute myself out, okay?
Okay, can do. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
First of all, I want to say I'm very humbled to be invited to be here. I'm 56 years old, and so I have kind of a long story, and I'll try to get it down in a nutshell. But my why starts clear back at the age of 25. I lost twins stillborn at 8.5 months, and I had several pregnancies, so I had ballooned up to 250 pounds. And by the time I was 27, I was finally blessed with a beautiful baby girl. But I was 327 pounds the day she was born. I was on high blood pressure meds and arthritis meds, cholesterol meds. My gallbladder failed within the year of her birth. And I went to the doctor for a consultation about my gallbladder and was introduced to the idea of a study group where I would participate with a group of 50 people and have a gastric bypass. They told me that I would lose 100 pounds in a year, and that I could eat whatever I wanted, and I just needed to stay away from soda. And at the age of 28, that sounded really good to me, and I didn't have to pay for it. I was desperate to be slender, as society dictated, not knowing then that skinny isn't necessarily healthy. Anyhow, I lost 167 pounds in 14 months. And I went from a size 28 to a size 4. I went all the way down to 118 pounds. And in the process, because we didn't have a lot of information about gastric bypass then, I ate even more poorly than I did on my way up to 327 pounds. I destroyed my immune system. I stayed slender. Outwardly, I looked great. I had strep and colds back to back all year long. I've been hospitalized for pneumonia several times, and at the age of 39, I got cervix cancer when my youngest was 18 months old, and at the age of 46, I got breast cancer, and 3 years ago, I started having neurological issues, and a lot of numbness and tingling, muscle cramps. My eyes changed 5 times in 10 months. I was having trouble controlling my bladder and bowels. I had packed on 30 pounds. I was stumbling over nothing. And eventually, after a couple of years of being poked and prodded, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, MS. And never in my adult life had a doctor ever asked me what I ate. All the times I went in, nobody checked my nutrition. I told them all I had a gastric bypass, but I was the correct weight. I was actually at the low end of my healthy weight, and I didn't ask. They didn't ask me. Finally, the third neurologist that I went to about 2 years ago asked me what I ate, told me that I had the worst nutritional levels that he had seen in years, and wanted to immediately send me to a nutritionist before he talked to me at all about the multiple sclerosis. And he had a terrible bedside manner. I didn't really want to go back to him. So I went home and I started doing some research on my own about nutrition and autoimmune disease. And after speaking with a nutritionist and seeing that all my levels were horrible, for example, your pH level should be on a scale of 1 to 14, it should be a 7, and mine was a 2.2. So I was so unalkalized that my body was a perfect perfect breeding ground for cancer, autoimmune disease, colds, flu, pneumonia, you name it. And so after going to the nutritionist, they put the app Fitness Pal on my phone and started keeping track of my calories and discovered that I was only eating 700 to 900 calories a day. And the average adult needs a minimum of 1,150 to 1,200 calories just to be out of starvation mode. So I had literally been starving myself for 28 years to stay thin. I was a textbook example of skinny fat. They told me to go find some greens, to find some really fresh multivitamins and supplements. They preferred GMO-free. They preferred no sugar added. They asked me to eat clean and not eat anything out of a box for 30 days. I am a carb and sugar addict. I am slender, but if it's in my house, I will eat it till it's gone. So I did lots of research. I tried a lot of different products. I tried making my own kale shakes, and basically they either tasted awful or it was a pain and took so much time, and I was barely making it through my workday anyway. I was an aircraft mechanic at Hill Air Force Base working 410s and sleeping during my lunch hour just to make it through my shift. I had to sell my horses. I couldn't ride them, couldn't even get out to feed them some days. I couldn't babysit my grandkids. I had to sell my big lifted truck. I couldn't lift my body up into it. Basically, my life had changed dramatically. I have a huge family. My 20th grandchild was just born. So my nutrition, me putting myself in starvation mode, never drinking water, drinking 2 liters of Diet Dr. Pepper or Diet Pepsi a day, and binging on carbs just because I could, totally destroyed my health. And the MS was a result. So at the age of 55, one of my daughter's friends called me up and said, "Hey, I went to this wrap party." And I said, "That thing on Facebook? Why are you telling me this?" And she said, "Because they have all natural fresh supplements that they make every 30 days that are non-GMO, and I tasted them, and they taste great. They have greens." And that was my trigger. So I called up this lady, Holly, who I'd never met before, and I arranged to go to a demonstration just down the road that following Saturday night, and I almost didn't go. My husband was so sad about the change in me that he kind of got after me and said, "I thought you wanted to help yourself. I thought you were going to go find out about these products." And I kind of got mad back, threw on a ball cap, and went to this party that started at what was normally my bedtime. And there was only 3 of us there, the hostess, her sister, and myself. So we got a lot of one-on-one attention from Holly and her husband, Troy. And they explained about all the products, the greens, ThermoFit, Fat Fighters, the New You, Relief, all of it. And I had done so much research that there were so many trigger factors in everything that they were telling me. And I loved the idea that the products were fresh every 30 days. And they gave us all a full serving. And by 9 o'clock, I was wide awake. And I'd been going to bed by 7:30 every night for a couple of years. So that right there, for somebody like me, I absolutely knew I was becoming a customer. And then they mentioned the $10,000 bonus. And I thought about all my friends who had that little tiny bit of a vein bone, maybe wanted the facial products or to try the wraps, because the wrap really wasn't the thing for me. I tried it. I had minimal results. It was the supplements for me. And I changed my mind about the wrap. I don't know if any of you have seen my pictures, but you can go to my Facebook page, and the wrap is my best friend, because I had sagging, bagging, awful, stretch mark covered, scarred skin that I hid really well with clothes. And I'm able to wear shorts. I wore a swimming suit this year, and I'm a grandma. This is like so foreign to me. These products have literally changed my life. And that night, something just told me to follow my gut. Holly and Troy were open and warm and welcoming and sharing. There was no pressure. And I thought, heck, for $99, I have a bunch of friends who could use these products. I'll get 10 or 15 friends and I'll make enough commission and I'll be able to try everything. And then my husband won't complain that I'm spending money on more crap. And that was my thought when I walked out the door that night. I signed up and I went Emerald in about 4 weeks, and I went Diamond on June 30th. I signed up on March 13th, and my husband went Diamond 60 days later. And then I went to conference because everybody told me how wonderful and great it was. And again, I'm 56 years old. I've been to tons of conferences and self-development groups, and they are wonderful. They are so motivational. But I have never, ever, ever been to a conference where I have been so moved by people whose stories were so much more amazing than mine, physically, financially, emotionally, in every way, shape, or form. And so by May 31st, I went triple diamond. And so my husband and I have earned $60,000 in bonuses since March 10th of 2013. But you ask my why. My husband makes enough money. I could collect disability. I don't need to work. I am so passionate about these products. I got my life back and then some. I'm sorry. I don't think I can tell this story without emotion, because not only did I give my life back to myself, because I had nobody to blame but myself, but I have been able to touch the lives of so many people, whether it be their lack of self-esteem, skin problems, weight, stress, money, it doesn't matter. I just opened my mouth, and it actually has changed me so dramatically, because I was pretty bitter, and the change in my health and me being able to give this gift to other people is my why. I don't know if you want me to tell you the mechanics of it. Heather, are you there?
I am here, and I'm a little taken back. Your story is, well, your story, I am speechless. I am. Your story is so real. Your struggle has been so real, and yes, please, keep going. We're crying right along with.
Sorry, I'm kind of straightened up now. I got my composure back. There's so much more to it than that. Those are just the basic details. Everybody in this life is a survivor. Everybody. You can't get into your 20s without having survived some kind of tragedy. It might not be a big tragedy to somebody else, but it is to you. The difference is, are you a thriver? I am definitely a thriver. My parents both thrived over adversity. So it's genetic, it's environmental, and I just decided that I wasn't going to give in to the depression and the pain when I had gotten myself there. There had to be a way for me to get out of it. So I opened my mouth. I talked to my doctor. I started talking to him about my nutrition. And then I started talking to everybody and anybody who would listen. I have the gift of gab. I am very lucky. Blitzing does not scare me. It's a piece of cake. I incorporate it totally and completely into everything I do daily. When I get a telemarketer call me up, I ask them if they've heard about it. It works. And usually they'll hang up on me, but that's okay too. I don't go to get my tires changed or go to the dry cleaners or stand in a supermarket line or Costco or pump gas, that I'm not handing somebody a Blitz card, asking them how their day is, telling them they look nice, something to open up a conversation that they are going to want to talk to me. People want to be around pleasant people. People love humor. The ones that know me know that I've been through hell and back, and that I bitch and moan like everybody else, but I get over it. And I usually end up turning it into humor somehow. But it works as the vehicle for me to use the pain and the heartache and the hardships and the health issues that I've been through to dramatically change other people's lives. So why wouldn't I use that gift? Why wouldn't I take all that heartache and make something good come out of it? And all I have to do is what my team calls OIM, open your mouth. You don't get lucky. Customers don't fall in your lap. In fact, I tell everybody all the time, they say, man, you're so lucky, you're signing up distributors right and left. I am not lucky. The harder I work, the luckier I get. There's been a few fallbacks, people have dropped out, and I just keep talking to people. Distributor. Rank means absolutely nothing to me other than the fact that somebody has been in a little bit longer than me and worked a little bit harder than me, so they're making more money than me. But I'm a distributor, you're a distributor, the person you just signed up as a distributor, and every day we have to talk to people, we have to follow through, we have to give good customer service with our loyal customers. We've got to schedule parties, we've got to call in favors to our family and friends, we've got to use our hundreds list. Every night before I go to bed, I have a lab notebook that I got from the dollar store. I create what I call a 6 list, and I put a minimum of 6 things on it that I want to accomplish the next day. On occasion, I have to move something from today to tomorrow. Usually I have more like 10 or 12 things on my 6 list, and generally 5 or 6 of them are business orientated, and the other ones are personal goals, self-development, or fun things that I'm doing with my family and friends. I totally encourage you to write things down, whether it's in a big planner, an 18-month planner, that you can write it down and look at the whole month all at once, whether you use your phone calendar and set alerts, use a lab notebook like I do. When you write things down and you can check them off or line through them, you feel so productive, and you know who you need to follow up with, because you can easily thumb back through and say, oh, I never got a hold of Sally. I need to call her today. Or set an alert in your phone. When she says, I want to sign up on payday, my payday's on the 15th, say, great, I'll call you on the 15th. And you set an alert in your phone, write it down in your lab book, put it in your calendar, and then you call her back on that payday. Not only will she be flattered that you thought of her, but your business is important to you. And if you don't follow up by making lists and following through, you will shut down. And so the biggest things that I can tell you is to open your mouth and tell everybody. The worst thing somebody can say to you is, I'm not interested. No, thank you. And they don't mean no. They just mean no, not right now. And when you get leads from boutiques and booths or raffle drawings that you do or giveaways that you do on your local page, make sure you write notes about that person on that lead. If you go into the bank and you have somebody fill out a drawing slip, as you're walking out of the bank, make a little note, Wells Fargo Bank, nice young girl, green suit, so that when you go to call her, you'll remember that conversation. It's really helpful when you're gathering lots of leads and blitzing people and doing lots of booths and boutiques. I don't typically set out to go blitz unless I'm taking new distributors. I just incorporate it daily into my living. Again, I have a green pencil case I got at the dollar store. I have drawing slips that we've made for our team that we print out. I have my blitz cards. I have business cards and a pen. That pencil pouch is always in my backpack, my bag, my wrap bag. It's always with me, so that when a waitress does a great job, I can hand her her tip and say, I also gave you a coupon for a wrap. Would you like to fill out a drawing slip to win a free one? She's flattered. She got her tip. She got a coupon for the wrap. You're giving it to her in person. You're appreciating what she does, and you're also asking her if she wants something free. And if you don't have wraps on hand, give away a 3-day supply of greens on the go. Give away a free spa party for her and 5 of her friends. You know, there's ways that you can do this without spending a lot of money. The dollar store is my friend. My booth table is set up with empty boxes, It Works boxes that I've wrapped in black and green paper. I have dollar store tablecloths. I use all of my empty containers, and I fill them up with sand so they don't blow over if I'm in an outside boutique or somebody bumps into my table. I have drawing slips there. I use balloons. You can get the colored stones, the green and clear and diamond-y looking ones from the dollar store to sprinkle on the table. You can get bright green and black placemats. You can literally set up a boutique display table for $20 or less. Go to your sponsor, ask for empties, have it set up in your house so when people walk in, it's right there. Set up your own monthly party once a month to invite all your leads that you get to. When you're calling people back, you decide, tell them, these are the dates I have open. Incorporate it into your life so you're not causing more stress for yourself. If you already have a party scheduled and you're blitzing people, say, gosh, I'm having a demonstration on Tuesday. You should join us. Bring a friend and I'll give you an extra $5 off your wrap. There are so many ways just by being excited, being positive, being somebody that people want to be around. Look at who you're hanging out with. Who do you have the most fun with? Happy, uplifting, positive people who are going for it. And if those aren't the kind of people you're hanging around with, maybe you should think about changing who you hang out with. If you're following a bunch of distributors on Facebook and Instagram, find 5 that you really, really respect, whose attitude you love, who you're learning from. Follow those and unfollow the rest. For one thing, you don't want your feeds all filled up, and you want to become like the people that you respect. You're your own unique individual, and you're going to learn all these different ways from all these different leaders, like these calls that Heather's doing. You're going to learn the same things are going to be repeated over and over again by all these successful people, but they're always going to throw in their own little twist, and you're going to have your own. Share them. It's great karma. Share them with your team. Ask questions. Ask what other people are doing. Ask your sponsor. Attach yourself to your sponsor. If your sponsor's not working, attach yourself to your next closest leader. If they're not working, call up customer service and find out who your diamond is or your double diamond. Reach out to them. This is your business. Open your mouth. You are all given the same gifts that I was given and every other person on your team. Find that sideline buddy. Not somebody necessarily in your downline, but a sideline. Somebody that you can bounce things off of, that you're not pressured because you're going to disappoint them and they're not going to disappoint you. Somebody that's a support person that can laugh with you, that you can roll your eyes about funny things that customers say, days that you're frustrated, somebody that you can vent with. Venting on your team page, on your personal page, on your business page, on Instagram is a really lousy way to get people to want to do business with you. So everybody's human. We're all survivors. Find a way to become a thriver. Find a way to get your story out there. Find a way to celebrate. Maybe you need to lose 100 pounds and you've lost 12. Talk about that. Talk about the fact that I've been using greens and fat fighters and I've lost 12 pounds in the last 3 months. Because guess what? There's 100 other people out there who are going to relate to you a lot better than they're going to relate to me because I had a gastric bypass. I didn't do it the healthy way. So Don't be afraid. Celebrate your small successes. If you signed up a loyal customer, celebrate it. If you signed up a new distributor, celebrate him. If you've got some pictures and you're not where you want to be, and those pictures show progress, get brave. If you would have told me 20 months ago that my ugly gastric bypass C-section, saggy, gross, stretch mark belly was going to be on social media all over the world, I would have bet you any amount of money that that was not going to happen. And now I'm the one sharing it with everybody. I share my stretch marks. I share my saggy, baggy arms that aren't saggy anymore because of defining gel. My peel pictures because my age spots are reducing. I'm not afraid to put myself out there. I don't care if I don't have makeup on. I do cheat a little because it is tattooed. But the fact of the matter is, when I put myself out there, my real self with my body attached, that's when my business took off. People knew I was sick. They knew I had dropped out of sight. They knew I never wore shorts and I didn't wear tight dresses. Everything was loose. And then all of a sudden, within 3 months, they saw this brand spanking new, healthy person that was coming back to life, starting a brand new career at the age of 55. Who does that? My people my age group were raised to get married and have a family and get a job and join the PTA and work 40 years, retire, collect Social Security, and die. You don't go from being an aircraft mechanic to a hope broker and expect to make a living. Well, not only did I do that, but I flourished at it, and I finally found a place where I can be who I need to be and help others. I follow in my parents' footsteps. They were always helping other people, and my brothers and sisters are entrepreneurs, and it is just an amazing feeling to be so brave that I put myself out there and that it is causing this cause and effect and helping other people to do it at a much younger age. The brave young men and women that are on my team that are succeeding and getting through the slow spots and just plugging through every day, working full time, kids, illness, parents that are dying, it doesn't matter. They're just plugging through. They're just hanging in there. They're staying steady. Most of all, they're talking to people. They're opening their mouth and they're planting seeds. And if I can give you that one thing that I leave you with here tonight, it's that you have this vehicle. Where you take it is totally and completely up to you. What part of your story you use, whether it's emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, that is up to you. If you market it positively, that is up to you. If you are consistent, it is up to you. But all of you can be at the top. We are all distributors. We all paid $99. We all have a brain. We all have a story that is worth telling. I am so grateful and so humbled to be asked to tell my story, because to me it was just life. I figured everybody had a rough life, and there were times when I complained that, I'd had enough, that I had enough character, that, you're not giving more than you can handle, and I was pretty sure that I was done being tested. But I found out that it just made me a better person, that there is always another door, and it was up to me to open it. I don't know if you want to let people ask questions, but I'm more than happy to stay on and answer for everyone.
Yeah, let's see if anybody has any questions. I'm sitting here, and seriously, there are not a lot of things that make me speechless. There really isn't. But your story really is, because we talk so much about how lives are changing and our lives are changing and, you know, how you feel better and, you know, financially you're doing better and things like that. But you are a true testimony. And I love your story. I do.
Well,
I love
you.
it. And the way that you say it, you know, they say if your story doesn't make you, if your why doesn't make you cry, then it's not strong enough. And I was definitely crying right here along with you. So I am not on Facebook right this second. So if anybody has any questions, if you can hit *6 and go ahead and ask your question, or if
They
you would
can
like
also
to.
type them into the event. I have the event open.
Okay, perfect.
So if they have the event open and they want to type them in there, I would be happy to answer anything. But again, my biggest thing is opening your mouth. That costs you absolutely nothing. You don't have to buy anything. You just need to pull out the information sheets when at nighttime when you're going to bed and you need to try and relax. Pull out the product info sheets and highlight a couple of facts about every single product until it's gelled in your head. Everybody will think that you are so smart because you know at least 1 or 2 facts about every single product. And that's exactly how I started. I turned off my cable TV because I knew I would get home from work sick and tired, get some dinner. My husband is working in the oil fields as an electrician up in North Dakota. So I'm home alone now after a house full of kids and grandkids all these years. I would go get something to eat, sit on the couch and watch Dancing with the Stars or Sons of Anarchy or something, and I would never work. So I turned my cable TV off and studied those product info sheets. So when somebody did ask me a question, I sounded like I knew everything, and I barely knew anything. But it was my confidence that people were attracted to. And because I could answer, it wasn't so hard to say, you know what, I don't know about that, but I can find out for me. Would you like to write your email down on the back of my business card, and I'll get that answer to you? And then I had their information. And that cost me nothing.
Your ideas are really great, and I love what you said about what you do with the waitresses that you think that are really good. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Because, I mean, you're not afraid of blitzing, I'm not afraid of blitzing, but there are a lot of people that are just afraid to blitz. And that's sometimes I feel is like a lot of people struggle. Like, how do they open up their mouth? How do they step outside of their comfort zone? But
You're
what
right.
you did
You're exactly right.
you shared with
it's hard for some people to even it's hard for some people to even talk to their families because they're afraid they're going to get shot down. So one of the things I did was I seriously learned 2 facts about every single product so that when somebody did ask me, I had confidence. And I did that immediately. I did the It Works training, and then I literally printed them out and I put them in a binder so that I could gel it in my head. And now I know a whole bunch of facts about every product. But because of that little bit of confidence, and then I was a product user. So I started out with the greens, the multivitamin pack, the New You, and the Relief. Those are the 4 specific things that I used for my MS. And then eventually now I use everything except the stretch mark cream. I use the Extra Rhythm, the Wrap, Defining Gel is my body lotion twice a day from the chin down. So because I am a product of the product, that also gave me confidence. So if you can only afford one product, make that your spotlight. You know, if you have arthritis and Relief is your thing, then you make sure you know everything there is to know about Relief and a little bit about everything else. If it's green, go for the greens. If it's the wraps, go for the wraps. Find that one product. My daughter is a double diamond, Chelsea Westbrook, and her thing is Confianza. She's a photographer, 3 kids. She worked full-time, built her business up, and was Emerald at conference last year and was double diamond by February 28th. So Confianza is her go-to. But when you're out and about in public, and we'll use the waitress example, and you do get exceptional service sometimes, or you like the person's personality, or they engage with you, and you're like, God, I'd love to have this person on my team. We're wasting their talent here serving food. So you can literally say something like that to them. God, you have a delightful personality. I would love to wrap you and explain to you my business. I'd love to have you on my team and get you out of this restaurant. Or do you love your job? How would you like to find a way to make 10 times more than you're making now? Or how would you like to find a way to make $500 a month on top of what you're doing now? You have to fill out that person's personality. You did such an awesome job waiting on us today. I wanted to give you your tip personally, and I wanted to give you this coupon for a free wrap. Or here's 3 samples of greens. I would love for you to fill out this drawing slip to win a free wrap. I just enjoyed you so much today. You make me want to come back here. They'll be so flattered. They'll fill it out. You'll have their information. You get in the car. You write where you met them and some little note about them that's going to trigger. So 2 days later when you're calling them back saying, hey, you won a free spa party for you and 5 of your friends, or you have a wrap to give away or a facial or a week's worth of greens, whatever your budget can afford, have to apply to each different situation. I do the same thing at banks. I do the same thing at receptionists at doctor's office when somebody is extra special bubbly, or they compliment me. I'm like, thanks. Well, I'd like to have you on my team and have me around all the time. You're good for my ego. And they'll say, what's your team? I'm an It Works Triple Diamond, and I'd love to have you on my team. I'm an It Works distributor, and I'm creating a group of people who are changing lives. We're changing people's health. I'm a hope broker. I help people change their health. There's so many different ways you can word it to adjust to the individual that you're talking to.
I love those ideas, and the way that you said that is, if people need to stop and go back and write it down like word for word, that's exactly what you need to do and practice it.
Yep.
You're right. There are so many times that I'm out and about in public, and you just come across somebody and you just look at them and you just think to yourself, I have to have them on my team.
Exactly.
Because something about them, like their personality or whatever kind of service that they gave you, there's something about them that you're just like, it would be wonderful. And people
I've gone
realize
back to restaurants multiple times and asked for the same waitress purposely to let them know how much I appreciated their service and that I was serious. And I've gotten a couple of distributors that way. It's the same thing with getting nails done, because you have a captive audience there. Going and getting your toes done, going to the dentist office, and the dental hygienist is a especially cute girl. They know all about nutrition. I love people that are CNAs, dental assistants, RNs. I love people that have an educated background, because when I tell them about the product, they know that I'm not blowing the proverbial smoke,
Right. Wow. You just make it, this last week has been so very hard for me, and just hearing your story, this is what I love about It Works so much. Things can be happening in your life and whatever, and then you hear somebody's story, and it just gives you back like your mojo, Like, I needed this story today, so I'm so glad that we did this. You have no idea.
You just made my day.
Well, you definitely made mine, because
I constantly am reading other distributors' stories. I'll go on YouTube and I'll watch their videos, because I know I'm not the only one out there. And again, my story is nothing compared to some of the stories that I read. It's so humbling, because to me, I'm just me, and I've met people on Facebook, and then I meet them in person, and I'm no celebrity. I'm a distributor just like they are, and it's so humbling to know that because of my story, they were able to help a relative with MS or somebody that's surviving cancer or having a breast reconstructed or problems with weight loss surgery, that I motivated them to continue to take their greens, just little tiny things like that. I don't even know these people. You know, I don't know their customers. I don't know their stories. All I know is because I opened my mouth and I put myself out there, I got brave. I help people, and that is priceless.
You're exactly right.
No amount of money in the world that takes the place of that feeling. It was pretty phenomenal going triple diamond. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, I can imagine. Oh.
In 14 months, and but when somebody who was contemplating having a gastric bypass calls you up and say, well, I lost my 100th pound today, and I owe it all to you. That, my friend, is why I do this. I have two individuals that are loyal customers who were on the verge of having a gastric bypass, and I talked about it. And they both have a long ways to go. But one of them's lost over 80 pounds, and one of them just went over the 100-pound mark. And so that feeling is phenomenal.
It is. That is a priceless feeling. Like I myself have had a ton of weight to lose, and I remember when I lost my first 100 pounds. Like when I was coming up on that moment of losing my 100 pounds, when I stepped on the scale that morning, and I knew it was coming, you know what I mean, because you'd be watching the scale, but it was something about when I hit that, I made a video, and I mean, I was just crying because I was so excited. And then, you know, my brother calls me. He was like, dude, you look so stupid. And I'm like, dude, I lost you, you know? Like, how's that not exciting?
It is. And the thing is people think, well, you know, I've only lost 12 pounds in 3 months. Not only did you not gain any weight, but you lost 12 pounds and kept it off. It's really super important that we as distributors celebrate our small successes. You know, I only got one distributor this month. Only? What do you mean? You got a distributor. You got somebody who wants to change your life. That's phenomenal. That's awesome. And that person's going to change somebody else's life. Good for you. You know, I used the pill twice, and I finally got rid of these marks on my face. Celebrate that. You lost 5 pounds in a month. Celebrate that. Put that out there. Be excited, because that's the thing that attracts people. Like-minded people will finally come around. I'm getting loyal customers now that told me absolutely not, unfriended me. They're not my friends. They're just following me. And when I left the base, it was when the government got shut down and everybody was furloughed, and I gave my 2 weeks notice, which was kind of crazy. But I had a gentleman that I worked with who I thought was a really good friend of mine send me a scathing email that there was no way in hell I could peddle my green crap and make a living, and that I was a ridiculous idea of a person, and that I would never be an entrepreneur. I mean, it was horrible. And I just responded to him, I guess you'll see when pigs fly. Or he said to me, you'll make a living from this when pigs fly. So when I went diamond, I just posted a picture of a pig flying. When I went double diamond, I posted a picture of a pig flying. And when I went triple diamond, I posted a picture of a pig flying. So you know what I'm going to do when I hit presidential? I'm probably going to find a pig, put wings on it, and put it on his porch.
You know what, I think that every single time that one of us promotes, we should tag you in a pig's flying picture just so it goes up on your page. That's awesome.
Yeah, when people will remember this call because I say OIM, open your mouth, and the harder I work, the luckier I get, and when pigs fly. It's I've been really, really good tonight. My favorite word is SHIT, and I had a couple of my team members bet me that I couldn't get all the way through the call without saying it, and I believe that I have. So I'm celebrating the small successes. Spelling it is not saying it. I know they're going to call me on it, but you'll notice if you're on my friends list that I post a lot about the S word. It's the one carryover from working on the base all those years. I had a really bad potty mouth like a sailor, and that one seems to come through a lot. But use your humor, use your life experience, use every bad thing that's ever happened to you as a motivator to continue to reach out, because I can guarantee you there is somebody somewhere in a worse position than you are that needs you.
That's so true. That is so, so true. We hit that right on the head. We really are. Anybody that's on the call, if you would like to ask a question, if you want to hit *6 and chime in, you can go ahead and do so. I think Jenny missed this call because she is out and about, but she's going to be so mad.
Well, it's recorded, so.
It is recorded, but she likes to jump live, and I think she's going to be mad she missed this one.
Our team was doing an online party tonight, and I had to duck out at 8 o'clock, but I have great leaders, so they're perfectly capable of doing it themselves, but we had the most guests we've ever had on tonight. So get yourselves on those online parties. That's another way to open your mouth. People can do it from the comfort of their home, in their jammies with their kids running around, or after they put them to bed, soaking in the tub, on their phone, on their iPad, on their tablet. It's you can even watch the Green Bay Packers while you're doing an online party, because I've done it. That's another way to open your mouth. Social media, just do it. You can. There's nothing scary about it. When people say no, they're rejecting the product. They're not rejecting you. And that is the biggest thing that people have to get over, their own insecurities. And it's hard. I'm not trying to play it down. It is. I had great anxiety tonight before this call because I don't know the people that are on this call. I'm used to talking to my team and my sidelines teams here in Utah. These people already know me. They know my demeanor and my character and my story, so it's easy for me to talk to them. And I still cry in front of them. But talking to strangers does cause anxiety. But when you're talking about things that you know are right and true and honest, it's easy. That's why it's so easy for me to tell my story, because I lived it. That's why you all need to get a pen and get a paper. Start from wherever you can remember struggling, whether it was financially, physically, emotionally, mentally, and write it down. And when you are ready, and just because you weigh 50 pounds more than you want to weigh and you think, oh, people aren't going to listen to a fat person, well, if you put yourself out there, what you looked like 12 pounds ago compared to what you look like today, it is people, you are going to get their attention. And so, I have girls on my team that want to lose some more weight, but they've already lost 50 and 60 pounds. As soon as they put themselves out there, their business has boomed. So you have to get brave. You have to take your Confianza and your greens and just do it.
I love it. I love it.
Well, I think that I've touched just about everything that I do on a regular basis. People are welcome to message me or go on my page and ask me questions if you think of them later, or go in the event and ask questions so everybody benefits. And then other leaders can chime in with what they do as well. And remember, you're all leaders. As soon as you bought that kit, you became a leader. So if you have something that you think is valuable that one of these diamond leaders hasn't talked about on one of these calls, by all means, share it with your team, because there is somebody who does want to hear it. What you have to say is important. I don't know everything. I learn from my team every day. They come up with amazing ideas. I have a distributor who took a dry wrap, cut it in half this summer, and she'd have her daughter wrap her arms while she went out grocery shopping with a dry wrap on, because you can't wrap every time you go out. So she would put a dry wrap on, and people would ask her, "What is that?" Because you can't walk around with your belly hanging out. Well, I guess you could, but you could wrap your legs with shorts on. People are going to ask you. People are going to want to know. And if you've got your lanyard hanging there, they're going to know what it is. They're going to want to know if it works. And if you've got some before and after pictures saved in an album on your phone, always have a dry wrap on you, at least, to show people how it can be applied from the chin down. And a facial. Make it funny. Say, make sure you warn your family so nobody punches you. Show them the Jason mask. And then show them some before and after pictures. People like to see results. And if it's your best friend's results, tell them. If it's yours, tell them. But when she said, yeah, I put on a dry wrap today on my arms and went out, and I got 4 people's phone numbers. I'm like, right on, what a great idea. So who would have thought?
That is a great idea. Now I'm just thinking.
She was a brand spanking new distributor.
Seriously, if you think about that, if you were to wrap your arms and go to the grocery store and do whatever it is that you got to do, especially with the fab wrap.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be. I'm gonna have to
use saran wrap so people could see the wrap. But you could put a neck wrap on or a chin wrap and have 2 or 3 of you go in to buy some fruit and some water, and have the clerks go, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're having a spa party tonight. We wrapped our chins. You what? You've not heard of the wrap? You can place it anywhere from the chin down, and tonight we're doing our chins and necks. I wouldn't wear the facial in a store because you might get arrested as a robber. But, when you have a group of people giggling and having fun, and they've all got this green stuff wrapped around their neck and chin, and they're buying fruit and cheese and healthy foods, you want to be a part of that. So be somebody you would want to hang out with.
This is a wonderful, wonderful call. That's what I love about this page that we created, is that, almost everybody in there is, sidelines, and they have nothing to do with your bottom line, but everybody's just, sharing their stories and getting motivated and stuff like that. And I love it. I love the fact that, I've never met you, but somehow, our paths crossed because of, it just, everything about it works like just the way that, the one team, one mission. I love it. I love the fact that our paths crossed and you were able to come on this call with us tonight.
It is awesome. And we do have a question from Bridget Bush. She's asking again exactly what I used for my MS. I used the full multivitamin pack, but they should use the multivitamin at least, the It's Vital. But I use all of them, the omega-3, the minerals, and the multivitamin. And I use the greens. And in the beginning, I started with 1 serving because I wasn't sure how it was going to affect my gastric bypass. And now I take 3 or 4 servings a day, no issues at all whatsoever. And I am regular for the first time in 25 years. I can't even tell you that is not overrated. But I use the multivitamin pack, the greens, multiple servings, If somebody around me is sick, I'll take an extra one because I have to keep my immune system balanced, the pH high, because of the MS. And then I also take the New You to support the human growth hormone production. You know, I'm over 50, so my body's pretty much stopped producing human growth hormone, and that's what helps us keep our lean muscle mass and our strength. And with MS, I need to keep all the strength that I can. So a younger person is just going to enhance their body's ability to promote human growth hormone production and have more lean muscle mass, more definition, more strength. For me, it's a necessity. Pretty much for people who aren't working out, weightlifting, who have autoimmune disease, people over the age of 45 should all be taking New You. And then I take Relief, the glucosamine complex. The formula is just amazing. I've taken all kinds of glucosamine products, and I have arthritis in my back as well as the MS. And just the relief, I mean, they couldn't have called it anything better. The relief that I get is amazing. So It's Vital Core Nutrition multivitamin pack with the omega-3s and minerals, the greens, the New You, and the relief are the things that I use specifically for my MS. And I eat very clean now. I haven't had a soda since March 17th of 2012. I drink 70 to 90 ounces of water a day, and I eat something every 2 hours. In the beginning, I had to set alarms on my phone to force me to eat, but I make sure that I get a minimum of 1,370 calories a day. I'm 5'9", and I weigh 145 pounds. So I cheat. You see the food that I post on my page. I eat pasta once in a while. I like to make dessert. I'm a great cook. When I indulge, I use my fat fighters. When I see a few pounds come on, I use my ThermoFit. I take 3 a day for a few days in a row. Those extra pounds come off. I know it's enhancing my calorie burn. I do yoga and I walk. So I don't work out crazy, but I am pretty active. And the yoga is mostly for my MS, but that's how I treat it. And basically those things that I just told you about would help any individual on the planet that has an autoimmune issue.
That's great advice. I want to throw something in there about the New You. I had heard Dr. Don said about our lean muscle mass that at the age of 20, most of us are, at that ideal body weight and we look fabulous and feel fabulous. He said, but what people fail to tell us is that from the age of 20 to 30, to maintain what we had when we were 30, when we were 20, we have to take 400 calories away every 10 years because we've lost lean muscle mass, unless you're taking something like New You. So if you think about that, from 20 to 30, that's 400 calories. 30 to 40, you're down 800 calories, right? 40 to 50, you're down 1,200 calories that you can no longer take to your body anymore because you've lost so much lean muscle. So
and
that's
you become less active, and you're more lethargic. You're going out to dinner more. You may be having more cocktails. I mean, it's a bad combination. It's our bodies, because we age, we stop producing collagen, we stop producing human growth hormone because it's the natural process. So why wouldn't you use nutrition to stop aging?
Exactly.
I have. It works.
That it does.
Thank you again so very much, Heather. I really appreciate your time. I know it's immense for you right now, and I'm really humbled to be asked. And again, if people have other questions, go ahead and put them on the event, and I'll be happy to come on and give you any tips and tricks that I've got up my sleeve. And I hope to meet everybody at Limelight. Come and find me.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being on the call. It has definitely been something that I needed today, and I feel this call has just made me feel so much better. So I
Awesome.
appreciate you and all the time that you've taken with us this evening, and I know that this call is going to go crazy. So
Positive vibes coming your way. And if you would post the recording, because my team just got finished with their online party and they're all messaging me, do you have the recording? I don't think they realize that we're still on. But thanks again.
yes,
Have a delightful night. I know it's late there. And
you do the same, and thank you so very much.
you're very welcome. Give yourself a big hug.
You too. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody.